Adventuredome here at Circus, Las Vegas. It's my second day in Las Vegas and the first time in 15 years, so it's been a lot to get over as far as the changes in this particular city from when I was here last. It's crazy, it's St. Patrick's Day, it's wild. But oddly enough, Adventuredome is not that busy here on a Saturday afternoon, so we're here to get some credits, of course. One thing I will say at the beginning, though, is getting into this park is a little bit annoying because they do request that you get a photo before you go in. And then for people like myself that aren't even like with anyone, it doesn't really make much sense to get a photo. Regardless, $60 for an all-ride pass. I've already done 5 rides on the main attractions here, or of the 2 main attractions. 3 on Canyon Blaster, 2 on El Loco. So I'm gonna cover those later on in the vlog as we get over to those sections of the park. It's a pretty noisy park as well, as you can tell, with the nature of this dome-like structure, which also does nightmares for color balance, as you may be able to tell for those of you that have been here before. But here we are, the main area of the park. One of 2 sides. Now there is a lot of kids rides and family rides like the bumper cars that you see ahead of us. The pass does allow for you to actually get onto those rides all day. So given that the park is open till 11 o'clock, we may come back later on and get a couple more rides on depending on how our mood is. Alright, so let's do a full turnaround of the park. We'll give you an idea what it's about, then we'll cover the major rides. There's only 4 I think we're going to cover today. The Chaos is closed, unfortunately, as well. It's Adventuredome, Las Vegas, Circus, the vlog. Finally, after 30 years of knowing about this park. So as mentioned, Chaos is in maintenance. I'm not really too upset about that because I've been on this ride a few times in fairgrounds over the years. And just so you know, you can actually get play cards for the games. You can hear them in the background. There's lots of games in here, but it is Vegas after all, so what would you expect? Canyon Blaster ahead of us. A remarkable corkscrew, which I'll cover later on. The sign is down for Chaos. Makes me a little bit suspicious. As you can see, there's kind of a big area here that could easily fit a new attraction if they were so inclined. Canyon Blaster goes off in the background. I would say watch this space because from my impressions, it doesn't look like maintenance is going on in this ride. It looks like they actually, this whole area could be filled in with a new attraction, as you have a lot of wiring and stuff in the games area that has been discontinued. Watch this space, everyone. Who knows? There might be something coming here. Newest attraction here at the Adventuredome is this Zamperla NebulaZ. I've been on a couple of these now, including what I consider the mother of them all at Coney Island. They're a decent ride, not exceptional. But I think a perfect addition for this particular park, considering the theming of it and how it's operated, or as far as like the offering that they have here. The Fleetwood Mac has followed me to Vegas, as it is right now the band I play most at my establishment that I work. And it is a welcome change to all of the stuff I heard on Fremont Street last night. NebulaZ, there's a pretty big lineup for it, as you can see on the left-hand side right now. I will say the lines kind of come and go in this place as you kind of experience certain things in different areas along with the crowds. They kind of go in a circle and make their way about. I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you plan it right, you can actually avoid lines, at least on a day like today. I can't go around this park and not be sad about the fact that as you're looking at right now is the trough from the original log flume that was in this park, and it looked really fabulous and fantastic. I haven't actually seen any POVs or on-rides of it, but it does go through the main canyon section of this park. So get past the NebulaZ. The line is double. It is the new attraction, so it does kind of make sense that it's busy. Mainly family rides here on the left side of the park. You got the swings, of course. The canyon, as I described in the background, where once the log flume was located. Can't really have an amusement park without teacups, and there they are. Of course, I won't be riding many of these rides unless I decide to come back and I'm bored, including a mini Matterhorn ride, which actually looks pretty good now I think about it. Roadrunner. Looks like it might pack a bit of a punch. I think it's on a test right now, so we're gonna... Or are we? Kind of like the look of Roadrunner, so we're going on it. So we just got off of the Roadrunner there. 3 cycles, actually. Forwards, backwards, and then forwards again. So it ended up being one of the longer rides here. I'm not going to feature much in this vlog, as I want to give you an atmosphere vlog of this genuinely unique park. No shortage of mini golf. This guy wants you to play. Say this is more an arcade with rides in it than anything else, because there's just so many arcade games and stuff. I do enjoy, though, the canyon structure. That is the dominant structure on this side of the park. Has sort of secret passageways and stuff that go through, and we'll definitely capture a couple of those. There is a drop tower that I didn't even see on the way in. So we're gonna add that to our selections of rides today for sure. Gonna have to get that one in. Slingshot behind me. I didn't know it actually launched you and then propelled you down as well, much like the S&S shot towers that I love. Not much force on it, to be honest, but it was a decent ride. The biggest curiosity I have about that ride, though, if you ride it facing towards the canyon and you get to the top, there's a little sign on the track of Canyon Blaster itself. Somebody has handwritten onto the track. So if you've ridden that ride and you're in that seat, definitely mention it, because I have no idea how that person got that piece of graffiti on the track. And it's kind of humorous too. So yeah, definitely check it out. Another ride that I've never done before, something unique. Another first here in Las Vegas. upside down in two separate points in the cycle of the ride. So yeah, excellent ride, definitely enjoyed it. Not high on sort of like forces or anything like that. You don't really get like a stomach sensation. Maybe if it ran a little faster you would get that, but you don't. It's not really enough. It is a family park, so it's fine. We're near where the former log flume was. In fact, I think it was a giant wave. I'm sure that I'm gonna look into it later on and regret making these assumptions, but regardless, we're here. So now we're gonna go on the two big attractions, El Toro and Canyon Blaster, or sorry, El Loco. It is certainly not El Toro. That ride's not open. Next to El Loco, and I've got my answer because it was obviously a giant wave that used to exist here. The landing pool was here, and you can even see the original drop just behind the main drop of El Loco and that rock work that's been covered over. So I'd say that's a fair sacrifice for this custom S&S that they have here now. It's amazing how they were able to sandwich it into this space. Four-seater train. I'm not really sure how much that really matters. That doesn't matter much at all. I will say I was surprised as well. It is not the best ride in this park. Stay tuned to find out what that is. Also surprised to find out that it's not that forceful, and you know, it's a decent ride if you're looking for inversions that are unique and a 90-degree drop. Well, it's definitely going to provide that, but it's relatively unforceful, which, you know, no stomach sensation. Found the ride a bit janky. Overall, it was decent. I enjoyed the custom aspect of the layout, but it just reminded me of other coasters that do it more effectively. It's a great addition to this particular park and definitely was probably needed at the time, but unfortunately it hasn't beat one attraction here that I think has got a little bit of a leg as far as intensity overall, thrill-wise in this park. All right, getting back onto it, we're gonna go and do Canyon Blaster. That might be an allusion to what I'm talking about. open back in the 90s, but indeed it is. Really a standout standard aero looper with a bit of a custom layout with that crazy double helix at the end. It's actually a helix and a half. What do I think of the overall ride? Well, I covered it in a little bit of a brief, short video, but I'm gonna say it again because it has a fantastic first drop right behind us. Nothing crazy, nothing too large, just the right amount of banking and a nice little pop in the seat before you go into the loops. First time I took this first loop, I grayed out. In fact, so much to the point that I almost drooled coming out of it. It was just that forceful with the G-forces, which is a refreshing change considering that El Loco, I didn't find that forceful at all. The second loop behind me, and then you go into probably one of the best parts of the ride and not that discussed about, which is this miniature airtime hill leading in to the turnaround. In the front and the back, there is a massive amount of ejector airtime you get when you pop over that particular element. And then you lead into the corkscrews. I will say that the corkscrews are fantastic, mainly because of the fact that on an aerodynamics coaster of this age, you're not gonna get one that's gonna be smooth, but the exception is here at Canyon Blaster, where the corkscrew is actually quite enjoyable and probably running as you would expect for its original construction. Add to that, leading into that helix that you just see beyond us here, a fantastic finale into the canyon and out. And these girders that you can see right next to the track, well, if you're tall enough and you sit on the right side of the train, those are gonna scrape by your head within a few inches. It's actually one of the best head choppers I've ever experienced on a ride, and I didn't even notice it until the second, but then when I noticed it on the second ride, I was like, holy cow, those elements get very close to you. So there's gotta be a height restriction. Unfortunately, it looks like Funhouse Express is not an attraction that's open. I would have loved to have checked it out. But we're gonna check out Canyon Blaster, go through its run one last time before we get out of here and end our day here at Adventuredome. Satisfied with my day here at Adventuredome. I'd say for the just short of 3 hours that I've been here, I enjoyed myself. It was actually a pretty decent selection of rides. And if you're on a day like today, operations have been decent. They've been pumping those trains out despite them being only on one train service with the exception of El Loco. But if you add it all up, that was probably one train service on El Loco as well, as you had 3 trains on the track. But they're banging them out and you get everything in, and then you can get on your day back into Vegas in a couple of hours. So solid little selection. If you're coming here with kids, you might not have that advantage because, as you can see, there's so many kids rides in this place that they may keep you busy all day here with the arcades, etc. So plan accordingly, depending on how you're spending your day here at Adventuredome. For me, I definitely won't be back for quite some time unless they open another major attraction here. Because, you know, Canyon Blaster is good, but it's not exactly a ride that you desperately want to get on in Vegas every time. It's not going to be in the top 50, that's for sure. Maybe top 10 aero currently running, but definitely not, you know, a world-class roller coaster. But, you know, it's a great confined space. They can only do so much here. As you can see, they also have a disco and other rides available, but mainly we've covered everything that you would want to check out here on a proper visit here to Adventuredome. All right, guys, that's going to be it here from Adventuredome. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. Also to mention, just like everywhere in Vegas, you can have a beer. There's a sports bar in the corner, which is fantastic from my perspective. I might come back to that just alone because it is March Madness weekend. But that's besides the point. Maybe you'll see a little bit of that